for the corner here as we take under 2 minutes to play. And it's shot right in front, and they scored! Side of the net, they've scored again! 1 minute left in this second period, and the Icebergs have tied it up. Head toward the blue line. Pops back toward the other end. Hess with it now. 39 seconds to go. Into the zone. Hess with a couple of nice moves, and she scores! This broadcast of Icebergs Hockey is brought to you through generous support of these WSTO supporters. Stoughton Hospital, a proud supporter of WSTO programming. Stoughton Hospital is a 2010 Wisconsin Forward Award Master recipient, providing exceptional personalized service. Trusted care close to home. The UPS Store of Stoughton. You can't do it all at once, but you can do it all in one place. 2364 Jackson Street, next to Papa Murphy's. Crest Funeral and Cremation Services, love and concern in action. The three things Crest values the most are service, service, and service. A proud supporter of WSTO programming. And we welcome you to the Mann Center for high school girls hockey. It is Badger Conference action tonight as the Viroqua Blackhawks take on the Icebergs. Great to have you alongside with us along the Iceberg Television Network. James Weingard with you from the Mann Center in Stoughton. And tonight, the Viroqua Blackhawks in a tie for fourth place in the Badger Conference. They're 1-4-0, 5-6-0 overall. Come in to take on the Icebergs, who are 0-6-0 in the conference and 3-13-0 overall. The Icebergs are wearing pink tonight, breast cancer awareness, and the Icebergs come in having given up 9 goals in their last 3 consecutive games. Losing to Wapaka 9-2, lost at Rock County 9-0, lost to the Sun Prairie Co-op here 9-0, and then they'd won their previous 2 games, January 3rd against Lakeshore Lightning 4-3, and then they beat Beaver Dam Randolph by a score of 7-1. Meanwhile, for the Blackhawks of Viroqua, the junior Icebergs being introduced out onto the ice right now, and so we'll turn it over to our public address announcer to get the announcements.
Number 6, Carly O'Neill. From Deerfield Middle School, Haley Paple. From Riverwalk, Lily Sorensen. From Riverwalk, Rachel Lewis. From Riverwalk, Alexa Short. From Riverwalk, Samantha Nelson. From Indian Mound and McFarland, Kylie Babcock. From St. Anne's in Stoughton, Sydney Schneider. From Sandhill, Morgan Reiner. From Deerfield Elementary, Abby Heidlitz. From Riverbluff, Emma Sorensen. From Indian Mound, Tammy McGinn. Ladies and gentlemen, the junior Icebergs.
They're the junior Icebergs.
And now tonight, WIAA Girls High School Hockey Team game features.
And we'll get the starting lineups here for both the Blackhawks and the Icebergs. And we'll start with the Viroqua Blackhawks.
Number 33, Ivy Shonda. At defense, number 18, Laura Schneider. Also on defense, number 19, Coriander Delaney. At wing, number 12, Lydia Noble. Also at wing, number 17, Kelsey Shaner. And at center, number 7, properly coached by Andy Rogers and assisted by Brent Welch. And now, for the Icebergs, starting in goal, number 1, Mackenzie Nicias. On defense, number 20, Kelsey Waldner. Also on defense, number 29, Sydney Urso. At forward, number 10, Kit Olson. Also at wing, number 16, Taylor Bishop. Also at forward, number 19, Aaron Olson. Followed by the rest of the Icebergs. The Icebergs are coached by Matt Gallagher and assisted by Nick Mitchell, Justin Buzatiri, and Nathan Schwarzkopf. And now, to honor America and those defending our freedom, we ask that those who are able to please stand, remove your hats, and place your hand over the heart for the playing of our national anthem.
And there's our national anthem as we get ready for high school girls hockey here tonight from the Mann Center on the Iceberg Television Network. Great to have you alongside with us. And we talked about the last few games for the Icebergs for Viroqua. They're coming in off of a win against Medford by a score of 10-0. They lost to the Sun Prairie Co-op 3-2. They lost to the Metrolinx 2-0, lost to the Sun Prairie Co-op again. That was back on the 20th of December, a 2-1 game. And then they lost to Rock County by a score of 4-0. These two teams, the Blackhawks and the Icebergs, met in the first game of the season for the Blackhawks. That was a 7-1 win for Viroqua. And we will see how things play out here tonight. Viroqua comes in again at 1-4-0 in the conference, 5-6-0 overall. Offensively, they score 2.89 goals per game. They give up 2.44. And the Icebergs, offensively, they score 1.8 points per game, goals per game, and they give up 7.25. In goal tonight is Ivy Shanka for Viroqua, and she has a 2.42 goals against average, 92.7 save percentage. And for the Icebergs, Mackenzie Nicias, 7.33 goals against average and an 84.8% save percentage. And the opening face-off, ready to go. And off we go, and this will be controlled by the Blackhawks at the red line. And then they will send it into the Iceberg zone, but this should be ice. Well, it was going to be icing, but they apparently waved it off as it heads into the corner. Now into the slot. Shot, kick save made by Nicias right off the bat. Kicked into the circle, now into the slot, and the Icebergs will not be able to clear it. Goes to the top of the circle. Now it hops over a couple of sticks. The race is on back to the other end. Coriander Dalen first to play it for the Blackhawks. She plays it behind her own net. And it comes to the circle here on this side. Icebergs
Sophia Macero able to disrupt the pass as it ends up along the near side wall. Dalen has it back behind her own net and off to the corner. Played up along the far side, and this will be rolling on its edge all the way back into the Iceberg zone. Macero first to play it as she hacks it back above the blue line. And now a nice pass ahead that went to Erin Olson, and Olson will go chase it down in the corner. Centering pass that spins its way back out to the high slot, held in by the Icebergs. They'll just dump it into the corner. Minute and 15 gone here in the opening period. Big pile up just inside the blue line, and the Icebergs can't hold the zone. Tegan Rupiper retreats back to her own blue line and now sends it back toward the middle of the ice. Carried in by the Blackhawks. Here's a shot and a big collision again just below the blue line. Macero has it below the goal line as she will get it back out toward the blue line, but not out. Around the bend to the other side, Hannah Smith has it now for the Icebergs, and the Blackhawks will not let it get out of the zone as it heads back down behind the Iceberg net into the corner here on this side. And a centering pass comes back out to the top of the slot and out of the zone. Sent back in, delayed offside. Everybody touches up for the Blackhawks. They'll send it in along the far side wall. Naomi Schroeder sends it down. Icebergs control it though, as they will weave their way out of the zone. And out here at neutral, pushed ahead by Erin Olson and into the Viroqua zone. Now taken by Coriander Dalen behind the net to the corner, and she spins away from trouble, comes back out underneath the stick of Araya Karatko. The race is back on down to the Iceberg end, behind the net and off the boards, but not quite out. Puck stops just below the blue line, and now they chip it out of the zone. Icing this time will be called against the Icebergs as it wobbles into the corner, and we get a stoppage of play at 14:13 to play in this opening period. .13 time remaining here in the first. Macero with it, chips it along the far side wall, and popped up in the air, now down, as Erin Olson tracks it down toward the Blackhawk blue line. Taylor Nicias with it, sends it back to Rupiper. Now a giveaway in the middle. They hammer it off the boards in front of the penalty box, and they'll sweep it into the corner. Kid Olson sends it down there. Still hung up in the corner. They play it high off the glass and around the bend, and this will spin its way out of the zone. Rupiper on defense gets back to get it. She'll just hammer it over to the far side wall. Icebergs send it back now as Erin Olson is 1-on-2. Now Leah Sexton coming down the middle. Got it to her. Shot. That goes wide of the mark. Back in toward the middle, and that stops in the crease. And then between the circles, and it's lifted high in the air and down through neutral ice. The race back onto the other end. Viroqua first to play it down to the bottom of the circle. Turnaround shot. Save made by Nicias, and she will cover it up. Face-off coming in the Iceberg zone with 13:11 to go here in the opening period. Face-off in the Iceberg zone. And down to the corner. Icebergs clear. This will be icing again. And so they'll track the puck down and walk it back down to the other end and start over. Viroqua has a nice crowd that came down tonight. Big crowd for the Icebergs here tonight as well on this foggy Friday night in Stoughton. 13:03 to play in the first period. Out to the point. Wind up, more ice than puck. The shot never really challenged much of anything. And now out to neutral. Icebergs try and get it into the Blackhawk zone. They do. And a shot from Sexton right in on goal, and Shanka covers it up. Ivy Shanka, a junior goalie for the Blackhawks. Mackenzie Nicias, also a junior, the goalie for the Icebergs from Stoughton. 12:48 left in the first. Face-off coming in the Blackhawk zone. And off the face-off, heads off toward the wall, out toward the blue line, held in by the Icebergs. Shot goes just wide to the right, collected there by the Blackhawks as they come back out here to Sophia Macero as she pounds it off the wall and drops it down toward Leah Sexton in the corner. She couldn't play it. Blackhawks have it again. A redirect came back out in front of the goal, and Rupiper got in the way of the pass. Macero has it now across the blue line, picking her way through traffic. Centering pass, and they poke it away from Shanka as it comes back over here to this near side corner. They chip and hack away at it, try and get it back out in front. They hit it off the back of the net, and they play it off to the wall far side. Rupiper holds his own. That hits bodies, ricocheted right back to her, holds his own for a second time, and now down to the corner for the Icebergs. 12 minutes even to play in the first. 5 minutes gone here in the first period. Back behind the net, they'll fire it up along this near side wall. Macero able to keep it at about circle level, and now out to the point where it's held there by Erin Olsen, and they send it around the bend and behind the net. Emma Hughes with it for the Blackhawks, and Rupiper keeps the zone again as it spins its way over to the corner here on this side from Macero. Centering pass got knocked down. Erin Olsen will go chase it down at the Zamboni door, and she overskated it. Blackhawks come away with the loose puck, and now bounces off of a skate and goes all the way down to the Iceberg end. Icing will be called, and Rupiper catches up to it, so they wave icing off, and the Icebergs chip it right back out of their zone. Icing will be called this time on the Icebergs, but now they'll wave that off as the Blackhawks will turn and start the rush back the other way. We have a penalty coming up here against the Icebergs, and that's touched up by Sydney Urso, and so we've got our first penalty of the game. And Erin Olsen heads into the penalty box for a hook. So the Blackhawks will have a power play here for 2 minutes. We have 11 minutes even to play in the first period. And now we've got an equipment problem, mouth guard or something. They send one of the Iceberg players off. So Leah Sexton comes off, and she is replaced by Taylor Nicias, who will take the faceoff. And off the faceoff, it spins in toward Mackenzie Nicias, the goalie. Rupiper has it. Now into the corner on the far side. Blackhawks send it back down behind the Iceberg net. Into the circle now. Tried to center it. That was intercepted out to the high slot now for Dalen. And over to the point. That's knocked down in the circle. Rupiper comes over to crash into the puck. It comes back out to the point once again. And that shot goes through the slot, through the crease, and ends up in the corner. 10:28 to play in the first. Minute 25 left in the power play. Swing and a miss on the shot from Laura Schneider. This one goes wide to the left. Macero hacks at it, goes around to the other side. Hannah Smith has it there for the Icebergs, and she'd do well just to clear it out. She finally does, bounces off of a skate into the glass. Smith settles it down, sends one in right in on goal on Ivy Shanka for the Blackhawks. And now the Blackhawks start the rush back the other way. That's a giveaway at the blue line. Sydney Urso back into the Blackhawk zone. Under 10 minutes to go in the first, 51 seconds to play in the penalty. Icebergs shorthanded, hold the zone again. It's at the bottom of the circle, carried into the corner by Dalen. And into the corner on this side, the Blackhawks will start a rush now. Dalen right down the middle, 3-on-2 coming back. Dalen across the blue line to the circle, and she spins out, and a centering pass knocked away by the Icebergs nicely. And the Blackhawks will retreat. 27, 26, 25 to go in the penalty. Tegan Rupiper with it, couldn't get it out of the zone. It gets neutralized over to the corner, or to the boards on the far side. 15 seconds left in the penalty. And moving in, here's a shot. Nicias with a glove save, and she holds on. Nice round of applause from the fans assembled over on the far side, and her teammates. The Icebergs in their pink uniforms tonight, pounding on the boards, telling her that she's done a nice job. 10 seconds left in the penalty. 9:11 to go in the opening period. Face off in the Iceberg zone, and this is won by the Icebergs. They'll play it along the far side boards and out to the top of the circle. It'll be a centering pass and still loose in the slot. The penalty is done, and this goes wide to the right, off to the corner now. Icebergs hammer it along, and they'll chip it out of the zone and out to neutral, and that just out of the reach. Now finally poked ahead a little bit further as Erin Olson bumped it with her stick, and we've got a roughing call. Olson and one of the Blackhawk players got tangled up apparently, and we'll see what the call is.
16 black is a minor for a rough.
So Taylor Menzinski goes in for roughing for Viroqua. And so the Icebergs have a power play now. Icebergs on the season have not converted a single power play this year. And the penalty kill for Viroqua is successful 82.4% of the time. Icebergs have it on a player advantage. Here's a bounding puck, and that goes just wide to the left off of a centering pass, and the Blackhawks will clear it out. It wobbles and spins its way down to Nishes, who sweeps it back to a teammate, Hannah Smith, at the blue line. Minute 38 left in the penalty. 8:19 to go first period. Smith with a shot right in on goals. Save. Rebound covered up. And the Blackhawks able to keep the puck out of the goal as Shanka covered it up. And we have 8:12 to go in the first. A minute and a half left in the penalty. Face-off in the Blackhawks zone as this one comes back out toward the blue line. Icebergs can't hold. Massaro will track it down for the Icebergs. 1:22 to go in the penalty. Coming up on 8 minutes left in the opening period. Shot from the slot, save made, and sticked out of harm's way. Comes back out to neutral and all the way down to the other end. No icing here as the rebound comes right to the side of the net. First to plate is Emma Colden for Viroqua, and she'll just carry it and pin it up along the far side wall in the corner. A minute left in the penalty. Out toward the blue line now as this is Taylor Nishes, and she'll fire it into the Blackhawk zone down to the corner. And Viroqua first to play it there. Heads off to the far side at the top of the circle now. And a bounding puck right at the side of the net. And a little backhand shot from Nishes, not able to put it home. 7:22 to go in the first and 37 seconds left in the penalty. They chip it along the far side and hacked out, but not out of the zone. Pop back down to the corner now. 30 seconds left in the penalty. 7:10 left in the first period. Puck behind the net. And the Blackhawks not able to clear the zone quite yet. Puck on a pass goes behind the net. Blackhawks fire it out. Tegan Rupiper can't play it as it spins its way all the way back down to the Iceberg zone. 12, 11, and 10 seconds to play in the penalty, and a giveaway behind the net. They'll move to the front, hit the side of the cage on the shot from Shaner. 2 seconds and 1, and the penalty is done. Both teams are back to full strength. 6:40 to play in the first period, and we are scoreless. Out at the blue line now as it puck slides into the Viroqua zone. First to play it there is going to be Emma Hughes as she carries it behind the net, and then down to the corner. Blackhawks will try and clear. They do. It rolls on its edge all the way back down to the other end, and this will be collected by Viroqua before it crosses the line for icing. At the side of the net, they can't get it in front. 6:12 to play. Icebergs have it. They'll play it off the board. Back out to the point, held in there by Hughes. Top of the circle. Hughes has it back again, now to the middle. And a backhand shot, knocked down by a couple of skates. Hannah Smith collects it, and they will not be able to get it out. Back to the top of the circle, and this time they hit Hannah in the thigh, and it comes back out to neutral ice. 5:48, 47, and 46 to play here in the first period. Tried to chip it in was Maya Berendrecht. They battled for it down here in front of the penalty boxes. 5:36 to play in the period. And now the Icebergs will start a rush as they'll cross the blue line. Bounding puck goes wide of Shanka, and it'll be collected there by Taylor Menzinski. Menzinski with it, and that's a giveaway below or into the circle. Centering pass right in on Shanka, but that puck got intercepted by Emma Hughes, and now the Icebergs get it back out in front. Rupiper has it at the top of the circle. She'll hammer it down to the corner as it ricochets over to the other side. Coming up on 5 minutes left here in the opening period. Out to the point, held in by the Icebergs a couple of times, and into the circle now. Kid Olsen with it down to the corner. Tried to center it, skates got in the way. And they hack at it again in the circle, comes back out to neutral, and the race back on as Massaro will be first to play it for the Icebergs. Nice job there of eluding the defense a couple of times, kicks it along to herself, now poked in by Erin Olsen as she'll track it down in the corner. 4:38 to play in the period. Olsen up the near side, and that's a little too far in front of Sydney Urso, held in though by the Icebergs nicely. Olsen has it back bottom of the circle, and she taps it down to the corner. Back out to Urso, able to hold the zone, top of the circle, over to the high slot now. Massaro sends a shot in that gets redirected just wide of the mark. Olsen behind the net. And tracked down by Urso again here in the corner. 4:10 to play in the period. Urso still with it for the Icebergs in the corner. Very patient, and that's a giveaway. Sydney Urso first to play it for the Icebergs, back as she crossed her own blue line. Eludes one, crosses the blue line. 3:55 to go in the period. Down to the corner, centering pass right in on Shanka, and she will put a stick on it and put a glove on it and cover it up. 3:51 left in the first in this scoreless first period. Both teams with an opportunity at a power play, neither successful so far. Face-off coming in the Viroqua zone, and this is into the circle, comes back out to Rupiper. She hacks it over here to this near side off the wall. They try and chip it out, the Blackhawks do, and now they finally just carry it out. Maya Berendrak centers one, and Rupiper back defensively. Berendrak has it back, shot, save made by Nishis, and she'll keep it in the glove. 3:33 to play in the first. Face-off in the Iceberg zone with 3:33 time remaining here, opening period. And off the face-off, the Icebergs win this one. Comes out to neutral and just out of the reach, but the Icebergs got it back. They will fire it into the Blackhawk zone. Bounced off the referee's skate, and the linesperson got in the way of it that time. She's piled up over there among 6 or 7 players. Icebergs keep it out of their zone. Now collected here on this side by Taylor Menzinski. And a shot right in on Nishis, and she will hold on this time. 3:01 left. Icebergs' next home game is coming Tuesday, January 24th against the Badger Lightning. That's Baraboo. That'll be a 7 o'clock start at the Mann Center on Tuesday, January 24th. Just under 3 minutes left here in the first. Puck spins out of the zone. Kid Olsen was going to try and reel it in and start a rush. Now carried into the Blackhawk zone and trickles down to the corner, and first to play it down there is going to be Emma Hughes. Hughes behind the net, met by Erin Olsen as she emerged on the far side. And now the Blackhawks will carry it in. Emma Colden with it, and she lost it. Icebergs not quite able to clear it out of the zone. And an almost giveaway in the slot, almost a couple of them as a matter of fact. Now tipped in by the Icebergs, and this will be chased down by Taylor Menzinski for Viroqua. Behind the net, bounced off the boards near side. And they spin it out toward the point, and not quite out of the zone yet. Now it is from Naomi Schroeder. Rupiper first to play it for the Icebergs. Sophia Massaro with it now, across the blue line. And into the corner, centering pass, intercepted by Emma Colden. Wasn't really going to do much with that anyway, because there were no Iceberg players set up in front. 1:48 to play in the period. And now the Blackhawks will start a rush. Perla Grenier across the blue line for Viroqua, swings and misses on the pass, and then gives the puck away in the circle, and the Icebergs send it back down to Viroqua zone. 1:33 left in the period. Coriander Dalen tracks it down in the corner. Hannah Smith chasing her. And puck comes back out to the point, held in by Massaro. 1:20 left in the period. Now out. Shannon King had it for the Icebergs. Swept right back in by the Icebergs' Hannah Smith. And there's a big hit over here on this near side. Viroqua fans not happy about that. There's a penalty coming up. And a giveaway at the side of the net. They'll move it in front, poked away. No, it isn't either. No, I beg your pardon. It's not. There is no penalty. I thought they were going to call a penalty on the hit right down here below us, but apparently he was just going to call icing. 45 seconds left in the first. Icebergs hammer it out of the zone. This time it'll be icing again. And so we've got a stoppage of play here with 39 seconds to play. .39 seconds left in the opening period. Face off in the Iceberg zone. Off the face-off, it comes right toward the middle. And a shot that gets blocked by a stick over the goal. And now they chip it over here to the corner. 26, 25, 24 seconds to play in the period. Iceberg's going to try and clear. They do. And Olsen trying to pick her way through a double team. Almost got there. Back to neutral now. 14, 13, 12 seconds to play in the period. And we're down to 10 and 9 and 8. Down to the corner. Emma Hughes sends it off of a couple of skates. They come back out toward the middle. And that's the way this first period will come to an end. So we are through one. It's Viroqua nothing and the Icebergs nothing. We'll take a timeout and come back. Second period coming up. This is high school girls hockey, the Badger Conference on the Iceberg Television Network. We welcome you back to the Mann Center for high school girls hockey. It's the Badger Conference, the Icebergs and the Viroqua Blackhawks tonight. And we are scoreless through the first period. Nothing on either side so far. And so scoring recap makes it real easy to do when there's a couple of zeros there. And let's take a look at our Stoughton Hospital stats report. 5 shots on goal for the Blackhawks, 7 for the Icebergs. And of course, both goalies perfect so far. 7 saves for the Blackhawks, 5 for the Icebergs, and both teams with 1 penalty for 2 minutes. And that's a look at our Stoughton Hospital stats report through this first period. Second period coming up here in just a minute or two. And a reminder for you that weekdays at 1 o'clock you can find one of America's leading voices in progressive talk. That's Tom Hartman with the Tom Hartman Program. And that's weekdays at 1, and followed by Democracy Now!, an independent look at the news that shapes our world. That's at 2 o'clock every weekday afternoon. And then on Saturday mornings, get your weekend off to a good start with Saturday morning cartoons, 8 o'clock until noon on WSTO TV. Reminder for you, we will have another game coming up on Tuesday. That'll be the Icebergs against the Badger. Well, they have been known as the Badger Thunder. They're now the Badger Lightning. And that'll be coming up on Tuesday, which is at 7 o'clock. And yes, this is our first announcement of it. Next year, in December of 17, we are going to be streaming in high definition. So we hope you will check that out as we head into the next school year. Drop pass, top of the circle, and then behind the net, Icebergs right in front, shot, save, and it goes off to the side. Now the Blackhawks will start a rush, but this is too far in front of everybody, and Kelsey Waldner first to play it for the Icebergs, and then it went right in on goal. Nishes makes a save, centering pass right in front, bounding puck at the top of the crease, and it swept out of harm's way. They'll try and get it back in front again. Icebergs there to nix that, and a shot again, and from between the circles, Nish is able to find a handle on it. She covers it up. .16 to play in the second, just underway here, second period. Face-off coming in the Iceberg zone. Off the faceoff, this will be hung up in the circle. Shot, save made by Nicias, and it's popped over here to the near side wall. We'll drop it down to the corner, and then behind the net. Collected there by Maya Barendrecht. And this spins out to the blue line, held in by Taylor Menzinski. And now the Icebergs clear it out. A little over a minute gone here in the second. Almost a giveaway in the slot. Now the Icebergs have it. Hannah Smith along the near side as the Blackhawks try and chip it out of the zone. They freeze it up along the boards, and now the Blackhawks come away with it. And this is going to be Barendrecht ahead of the pack. Barendrecht shot and a score! Through the 5-hole, and the Blackhawks get the first goal of the game with a minute and 31 gone here in the second. And it is 1-0 Viroqua. So 1:31, the time of the goal. Icebergs have it. Kid Olson with it behind the net. Comes over to this side for Sydney Urso. Centering pass. Got it in front. And that one bounds up high off the top of the crossbar. Right back in on Shanka, and she'll cover it up this time. .15:02 to play in the second. Face off in the Viroqua zone. Into the circle, now into the slot. Carried out by the Blackhawks, Naomi Schroeder. Schroeder up the far side wall, into the zone, down to the corner. Centering pass, intercepted by the Icebergs' Kid Olson, and she'll turn and start the rush back as it pops off somebody's back. And now out to the red line. The Blackhawks turn, send it back in. Tegan Brupiper hammers it back out to neutral ice. 14:37 to play in the second period. Puck hung up top of the circle. Olson has it back again. Aaron Olson had it for a moment. Massaro trying to get it back out of the harm's way. Here's a shot. Nicias with the save, lost the handle on it, and it's piled up at the top of the crease. And finally they come in and stop the play. 14:17. Time remaining here in the second period. Viroqua has taken a 1-0 lead. Off the face-off, the Blackhawks have it back out at the top of the slide. Shot, kick save made by Nicias, and the Blackhawks have it back. Comes back out to the blue line again. They'll take a blast there, bounces off of an ankle. Leah Sexton's ankle got in the way of it, and the Blackhawks able to hold the zone. Sexton has it down in the corner. Puck bounded off of a player, and he came back at the side of the net. Hannah Smith leaves it in the corner. That pass hit the official, and it comes out to the top of the circle. Emma Colden sends it back down to the corner. Sydney Urso battling with her. Here's a shot. That bounced off of a knee, and now out of the zone. They flip it back into the zone to the Blackhawks, down to the corner. 13:25 to play in the second. And Waldner first to play it for the Icebergs down to the corner. Centering pass, and that shot goes through the crease and bounds off the boards here in the corner on this side. Centering pass goes out to the high slot. Rister, that's well wide of the mark to the right. And then a spinning puck goes into the corner here on this side. 13:05 to play, back out to the blue line. Icebergs trying to get it out, cannot. Held in nicely by Viroqua, and now into the slot. This time they'll just ice it, and they'll get a reset here with 12:53 to play. .12:53, time remaining here, second period. Maya Barendrecht with the lone goal of the game thus far, that coming with just a minute and a half gone in this second period. We had a scoreless first period. Now the Icebergs will start a rush, and they got a breakaway. Moving in, a shot, save. And Taylor Nishes got ahead of the pack, and Shanka able to make the save for Viroqua. 12:43 to go. Off the face-off, this heads toward the bottom of the circle, now into the slot. Now here come the Blackhawks. Perla Grenier with it, and she'll send it into the corner and then skate off. 12 and a half minutes left in the second. Tegan Rupiper overskated it, lost control, coming out in front, and that was steered aside by the Icebergs. Back out toward the point, and now a giveaway, and here come the Icebergs back the other way. Nice move there by Olsen, and then taken off of her stick from behind by Kelsey Shaner. Out to the point, Icebergs just dump it in the corner. 12:07 to play in the second. Back behind the Viroqua net, they'll send it over to this side, and out to the circle. Urso has it, she'll settle it down, and a shot right into the middle of Shanka's body will stop play again with 11:59 to play. Face off in the Viroqua zone this time with 11:59 to go in the second period. And this heads down to the corner. They play it high off the glass and up toward the blue line and now out of the zone. Quickly coming back is Dalen. Oh, and down she goes. She got tripped up, and the Icebergs are going to be called for a penalty. So Shannon King goes off for a trip, and we have 11:46 left in the second, and Viroqua is on their second power play of the day. Face-off won by Viroqua, and it heads to the top of the slot, now right along the blue line, moving right in. Rupiper sticks it aside over here to this near side wall. Back out to the point now for Menzinski, and she has it. That bounds off a body and goes harmlessly off into the corner. Viroqua on a power play. They bounce it off the back wall. Rupiper does the same into the bottom of the circle. Icebergs have it. Hannah Smith will send it out of the zone, and Viroqua will have to retreat. 1.5 minutes left in the penalty. 11:13 to go, second period. Back to the blue line. Not in, though, as this is back toward the red line. Now back in. Dalen with it. And Rupiper knocks it off of her stick. Icebergs just turned, fired back to the blue line, not out. Now it will be, as here come the Icebergs right down the middle. And that was Sofia Macero sending it well wide of the mark, but into the zone and killing more penalty time as we take under a minute left in the player advantage to Viroqua. Barendrecht, who has the lone goal tonight. Shot, save made by Nishes. Behind the net goes Kid Olsen, and Olsen will play it hard off the boards, and it rolls down to the Viroqua zone. 45, 44, 43 seconds left in the penalty. Just under 10.5 to go in the second period. Savannah Kopf with it now. She'll send it across to the other side. Sydney Urso with it for the Icebergs, into the zone shorthanded. Urso takes a whack across the shins, now behind the net. 26, 25, 24 seconds left in the penalty. Back out to the point. Icebergs looking for a shorthanded goal as that one goes well wide to the right. Penalty coming up. And it's going to be a slash on Viroqua. So Perla Grenier goes into the box for 2 minutes. And now we're 4-on-4 for 14 seconds. We have 10 minutes left in the second period. Viroqua was short a player, so that's what the delay was. And off the face-off, goes to the side of the net, and they'll go and chase it down. Erin Olsen has it. Back to the point, and a shot goes just wide to the left. 6 seconds left in the Iceberg penalty. And this spins out to neutral ice, and the Iceberg penalty is done. So now the Icebergs are on a power play for 1 minute and 40. Aaron Olson tried to center it, stick got in the way. Icebergs not able to hold the zone as it slides all the way back down to the other end. 9.5 to go in the second, 1.5 left in the penalty. Big collision in the corner. Short-handed opportunity, backhand shot, and Nish is able to make the save. Emma Colden took the shot. 9:19 left in the second, 1:20 to go in the penalty. Off the face-off this time, it gets hung up in the circle, now up along the near side wall and out of the zone. Popped up in the air right along the blue line. 1:12 to go in the penalty. Back into the Iceberg zone. And that pass went underneath the stick of Aaron Olson, and it's going to be icing against the Icebergs. So we'll skate back down to the Iceberg zone for a face-off with 8:59 left and 1 minute to go in the penalty. Again, the Icebergs have not converted on a power play goal, on a power play at all yet this year. And off the face-off, Viroqua wins a face-off. Blocker pad save made by Nishes as they wrap it around the boards, and it comes out to neutral. And the race back on for Viroqua. 47 to go in the penalty. At the blue line, held in by the Icebergs for a moment. Now they'll fire it off. Ooh. That went into the Icebergs bench, it looked like. And I hear a lot of oohs and ohs and ahs down there. Face off in the Viroqua zone. 40 seconds to go in the penalty. 8:40 to go in the second period. And this pops up in the air and ends up in the corner. 35 left in the penalty. Blackhawks start the rush, and it's Emma Colden. Colden trying to get around Macero. She does, and to the goal, and she scores. So 8:34 the time of the goal. And it's Emma Colden for the Blackhawks. And that makes it 2-0 off the shorthanded goal. That's offside against the Icebergs. So Icebergs still on a power play for another 13 seconds. Viroqua has scored their second goal here in the second period. 8:13 to play in the second. Face-off is hung up for a moment. Now Hannah Smith had it poked off of her stick. Sydney Urso with it for the Icebergs as she turns the corner and gets it into the zone. 4, 3, 2, 1. The penalty is done. 8 minutes to go in period number 2. Blackhawks start the rush back the other way. Maya Berendrecht, who has one of the goals tonight already, shot, and a save made by Nishes. They poked at it. It came free, but the referee had already blown his whistle. So we get a stoppage here with 7:47 to go. Maya Berendrecht got the first goal for Viroqua at 1:31, and then Emma Colden, a shorthanded goal just about a minute or so ago. And that's where we stand now at 2-0, 7:44 to play in the second period. Played out to the blue line, held in by the Blackhawks. Rupiper turns, sends it right back from where it came from, back to the blue line once again, and the shot goes toward Tegan Rupiper, and she'll clear it back out now to Shannon King. King out to neutral, 3-on-3, as this will be into the zone. King still poking away at it, and the Blackhawks will try and get it out. They will not. At the circle, they tried to center it, could not. Waldner, and now into the circle again. Blackhawks will try and come away with it. They do, behind the net, and Viroqua will just fire it off of a skate, and it heads out to neutral ice. 7:01 to play in the period. Shaner with it in the circle, centering pass, stick to side by Nishes, right at the side of the net, and she finally covers it up, gets a handle on it, never went in, never crossed the line. Referee's looking right at it, and another face-off coming in the Iceberg zone with 6:54 to go. Just for the interest of scheduling purposes, we have another Icebergs game coming up on the 24th, which is Tuesday, and then they will have a makeup game on the 31st, which will be played in McFarland, and that'll be a 5 o'clock start on Tuesday the 31st, and I believe that's against Brookfield. And now carried out, here's Erin Olsen, had it knocked off of her stick. Karatko with it, sent back into the Viroqua zone, and now the Blackhawks trying to start a rush, get back out to the red line, and carried in. Araya Karatko, 6.5 minutes to play in the second period. Icebergs down by 2 as they play it all the way out. Icing will be called against the Icebergs, and a face-off coming back down to their zone. 6:19 to play. Yeah, that makeup game on the 31st for the Icebergs is indeed against Brookfield. They'll be home here against the Badger Lightning on Tuesday the 24th, as we mentioned, and then in McFarland on the 31st, and then 3 road games to wrap up the regular season. Coming up on 6 minutes left. Nice job there by the Icebergs to maintain the zone. Oh, and they chip it up, and it stops as it hits the water bottle right on top of the net. Just a reminder for you as well that the Tuesday night game, the 24th against the Badger Lightning, will be our last girls game of the season. We will not be covering the game in McFarland on the 31st. Also mentioned the last 3 games are on the road. They'll be at the Metrolinx at the Madison Ice Arena on February 2nd, at Onalaska Saturday, February 4th, and then against the Cap City Cougars, the Sun Prairie Co-op, and that'll be on Tuesday, February 7th, and that'll wrap up the season. 5:40 left in the second period. Viroqua leading by 2 with the puck and turning the corner. This is Berendrecht. And Berendrecht right in on goal. Save made, couple of them, and a couple of nice saves by Nishes as the Icebergs able to clear the zone. 5:23 to go in the second. Played off the boards, back to neutral. And coming back is Kelsey Shaner. Shaner drops it to the slot, and a shot goes high and wide. And the rebound comes back to the side of the net. Still loose, and the Icebergs come away with it. Bounds off of a stick, and a giveaway between the circles. Rue Piper hammers it back toward the blue line. And a little backhand shot. Back to the top of the slot again. Ricocheted right into the glove of Nishes, and she will hold on as we have 4:58 to play in the second. .456 to play, second period. The Icebergs down by 2, and it comes out to the point. Top of the circle now, and this spins away. Shot goes well wide to the left. Bounding puck comes out to neutral, and now the race is on. Here's Kid Olsen. She'll be first to play it. Oh, she overskated it. Boy. Delayed offside. Icebergs get out of the zone. Now they'll try and get the puck and maintain the zone. Cannot. 4:24 to go in the period. Erin Olsen has it. Had her stick held as well. Comes over to this side. Taylor Nishes down to the corner. Spins to the bottom of the circle. Backhand shot from the circle. Tried to center it. And it got intercepted by the Blackhawks. They'll clear it. And Emma Colden with it. Colden sends it across to the other side for Kelsey Shaner. And that's taken off of her stick. Now Kid Olson back the other way, one-on-one. Olson with a shot and a save made. Good job by Ivy Shanka coming out of goal to challenge her. And a nice play there. 3:55 to go in the second. And we'll get a face-off in the Viroqua zone. Face-off won by the Icebergs, and this is dropped down by Shannon King. They'll center it, but that's way up high. It comes over here to Sophia Macero in the circle, and then down further toward the corner. Now pops back out to neutral. Shannon King lets it go by, and here comes Perla Grenier, and a shot, and Nicias covers it up, and then a little poking and prodding by the Viroqua players after Nicias had covered it. 3:36 to go. Face-off drawn out toward the point, and now at the slot. This was just dumped down toward the corner. 3.5 minutes left. Rue Piper just plays it back to the wall. And now into the circle. Here come the Icebergs. 3-on-2 if they hurry. Smith bounds it off of a hip. Got it back for a second. 3:15 left in the period. And now coming back is Grenier. Rue Piper had fallen down. Puck goes into the Iceberg zone right at the side of the net. Macero overskated it. Now it's hung up behind the net. Comes over here to this near side with 3:01 and 3 minutes left in the second. Out to the high slot now. Held in by the Blackhawks for a second. They'll chip it out to neutral. It wobbles its way into the Blackhawk zone. This would be offside, I believe. Yeah, the Icebergs got to get out of the zone. So offside called against the Icebergs. 2:43 to play. Face-off coming just outside the Viroqua zone. Sent in. And now they pop it up in the air a couple of times. Olson had a look at it, and now it just kind of spins its way back into the Iceberg zone. They'll play it back to neutral ice. 2:26 to play in the second period. And now Kelsey Shaner up the far side. Colden with it in the corner. Got it toward the middle, but that was intercepted by the Icebergs, and they poke it along back toward the blue line. 2:12 to go. Behind the net. And into the circle, pounded off the boards. A couple of Iceberg players tumbled over one another. And now the race is on once again. Aaron Olson will be first to play it in the corner. Got it back, and they tried to center it again. Colden came away with it, gets around one, and now it's a 2-on-1 break back the other way. Moving ahead is Dalen. Dalen, and a centering pass, but the Icebergs there to break it up. Here's a turnaround shot. Tegan Rue Piper lets it go by, and that goes wide of the mark. Rue Piper's got it back with 1:35 to play in the second period. Back out to neutral ice now. Sent in. Olson will go ahead and chase it down over along the far side wall and back out to neutral. 1:23 to play. Tried a centering pass. Icebergs fire it back out of the zone again. 1:15 to go, and here's a giveaway. Sent in by Hannah Smith. Puck just hanging there at the blue line. They wave icing off this time. We're down to 1:07, 1:06, and 1:05 to go in the second. Rue Piper up this near side, but not quite out. We are down to a minute to go here in the second. Macero with it for the Icebergs, pops it up to the top of the circle. Moving in toward the middle. Here's a shot. Glove save made on an awkward looking save, but she's able to make it. Mackenzie Nish is doing a nice job there. 46 seconds to go in period number 2. Seconds left in the second. Face off in the Iceberg zone. And this heads toward the middle and right off the face-off. Boy, an immediate shot there from Coriander Dalen. And Nishis able to make the save on a really tough play. 44 seconds now and another face-off coming in the Iceberg zone. And this time it will just get hung up in the circle. Iceberg's going to try and hammer it out. And up along the far side wall, picked away by Shaner, down to the corner. 30 seconds left. Centering pass, ticked away by Nishis. Back behind the net now. Dalen with it in the near side corner. Out to the high slot, settled down there. Here's a wrister, and that bounds off of a skate. 20 seconds left in the period, and the Icebergs will be able to clear it. Down to 13, 12, and 11 seconds to go. Puck in front of the Blackhawk net. Here's another opportunity with 5-4. Colden with it behind the net. Centering pass hit the skates at the top of the crease. And that's the way this second period will come to a close. Our score, the Viroqua Blackhawks 2 and the Icebergs nothing. We'll step away, we'll come back. Third period coming up. This is Badger Conference Girls Hockey on the Iceberg Television Network. And we welcome you back to the Mant Center. James Weingard with you on the Iceberg Television Network. And we head into period number 3 with the Viroqua Blackhawks leading over the Icebergs by a score of 2-0. And in the second period, it was Maya Berendrecht with a goal at 1:31, and that gave the Blackhawks a 1-0 lead. And then at 8:34, Emma Colden got a shorthanded goal, and that gave the Blackhawks the current 2-0 lead. Taking a look at our Stoughton Hospital stats report through the first 2 periods, 26 shots for the Blackhawks, 24 saves for Mackenzie Nishis, 12 shots and 12 saves. 12 shots for the Icebergs, 12 saves for Ivy Shanka. Both teams with 2 penalties for 4 minutes. And that is a look at our Stoughton Hospital stats report. A reminder for you that you can keep up with the Icebergs anytime. Go to icebergstv.com. You can check us out on TV at those channels. You can also follow us on social media, facebook.com/WSTO-TV using the hashtag Icebergs. And also you can follow us on Twitter at WSTO-TV, and again using the hashtag Icebergs. And that's a good way to keep up with us on the Icebergs and the Iceberg Television Network. Great to have you alongside with us here, James Weingard, as we get ready for the third period. And a reminder again for you that the Icebergs' last game here at the Mant Center is going to be on Tuesday, January 24th, 7 o'clock start against the Badger Lightning. And then they will be playing a makeup game in McFarland on the 31st, but that game we will not be covering. And that game in McFarland on the 31st is going to be a 5 o'clock start. Coriander Dalen with it for the Blackhawks, sent into the zone, and the Icebergs able to hold. And it's a giveaway between the circles now and out to neutral. Here comes Emma Colden. Colden got around Macero and finally poked off of her stick by Sydney Urso. Out to the point and out of the zone. 16:19 to play in the game. Carried in now by Kelsey Shaner down to the corner. Centering pass, and that shot goes just wide to the left. Loose puck comes all the way back out toward the circle and out of the zone. Poked into the Iceberg zone. And Tegan Rupiper will go and chase it down around the bend to the other side. Held up at the top of the circle, and was it out? No, they kept it in. Now it's out. Icing will be called here. And so we'll get a stoppage with 15:40 to go in the game. Matt Gallagher is the head coach for the Icebergs. Nick Mitchell, Justin Pusateri, and Nathan Schwarzkopf are the assistants. Andy Rogers, the head coach for the Viroqua Blackhawks. And out to the top of the slot, bounding puck coming back in toward goal, and it's swept away by the Icebergs out to the point where it's held in there by Taylor Menzinski. And now cleared out by the Icebergs. They wave icing off this time as it slows down as it hits the goal line. Back out toward the point. Icebergs should be able to hold. They do for a second. Now they poke it out, and here comes Emma Hughes. Emma Hughes with a shot and a goal! .149. And actually that may not have been Hughes. I think that actually might have been number 2, which would be Naomi Schroeder. So before we get too far ahead of ourselves here, it was Schroeder. So Naomi Schroeder with the 3rd Blackhawk goal tonight. And interesting note, all 3 goals have been unassisted. No assists on any of the goals scored by the Blackhawks here this evening. 2 minutes gone in the 3rd, and the Icebergs trail now 3-0. Puck comes loose over here to the corner, and now in the circle, Kid Olsen pulls it down for the Icebergs and sends it around to the other side. Taylor Nish has had it for a moment. A couple of players come over and help out. The puck comes outside the zone, so the Blackhawks will have to clear. Lydia Noble sends it in. Popped up in the corner on the neutralized pass, now into the high slot, batted down out of the air, and that should be a hand pass, yep. So a hand pass there. 14:25 to go in the game. And the face-off will be outside of the Iceberg zone. Actually, it'll be all the way down to the Viroqua zone. So just hung up in the circle. A couple of players got their sticks tangled up. And now finally squirts freeze. They bounded off the boards. Iceberg's able to hold the zone for a second. Swept out now by the Blackhawks. Kelsey Waldner with it. She'll send it into the Viroqua zone. And now back outside to center ice. And it skips off of a stick and down to the corner. 14 minutes to go in the 3rd. Viroqua leading 3-0. Noble with it for the Blackhawks. And they'll start the rush up the far side. And Maya Berendrecht with it. Berendrecht down to the corner. And now the Icebergs, if they hurry, can catch the Blackhawks in a line change. Almost got to it. Leah Sexton had a look at it. 13:35 to go. That pass goes through the middle and then wide of Ivy Shanka, the goalie for Viroqua, down here in the corner. 13:20 to play. Back behind the net. Hits the back of the cage. And into the corner now. Poke it along a little further into the circle. Massaro couldn't hold. And it comes back out toward Olsen. Blackhawks will be able to clear this time. And Tegan Rupiper has it back at her own blue line. At the red line now. Carried in by the Icebergs. 13 minutes to play. Icebergs backhand shot. It goes just wide from Olsen. Aaron Olsen has it, and now it's chipped along and out of the zone. Here's a one-on-one coming back, and it's going to be Dahlen. Nice job defensively by the Icebergs, and Rupiper sends it off the boards. Olsen will carry it right back in, and that's going to be offside against the Blackhawks. 12:38 left. Face off outside the Iceberg zone, and at the blue line, this will be sent parallel to it over to the far side where Dalen has it, sends it down to the corner, back out to the point, held up there by Hughes, and then not quite out. Now it is, hacked out by Sexton. 12:20 to play. Icebergs needing 3, and here's a giveaway at the red line, sent in by Waldner. And now collected by Emma Hughes for Viroqua. Bounced off the boards, out to neutral ice, and the battle goes on all the way back down. Here's a shot. Nishis not able to, she made the save, but not able to hold on to it. And now to the circle, backhand shot, that gets redirected off to the corner. Just under 12 minutes, here's another shot. Nishis sticks it aside. Waldner sends it back to the corner where Grenier waits for it. And it goes through the crease and over here to this side now. Back out to neutral. They push it along. Down here below us. And that's a giveaway in the middle of the ice to Berendrecht. Had it knocked off of her stick. Now carried in by Schroeder, who just scored the last goal. 11.5 minutes to play in the game. And in the high slot. And a wrister goes wide to the right. And they bump into the wall here on this near side. Back out to neutral. And a nice pass ahead. And across the blue line, moving in, Aaron Olson. And that shot redirected to wide of the mark. And a wraparound opportunity. And finally, Shanka finds a handle on it and covers it up. 11:05 to play. Face-off coming in the Viroqua zone. Face-off drawn down toward the side of the net, where it's played by Menzinski. And now the Blackhawks will start heading back the other way. Oh, nice move there. Moving ahead. Backhand shot. Save made by Nishis, and she'll stick it aside and then finally cover it up at the side of the net. Nishis beat Emma Colden that time. .10:49 to go in the game. Face-off in the Iceberg zone. Backhand pass to the circle. Icebergs will be able to clear up this near side. That's Maddie Menace. She's got it back at neutral ice, sends it into the Blackhawk zone. Lydia Noble first to play it in the corner for Viroqua. Stops at the side of her own net, comes to the top of the circle. Chopped at by Araya Karatko, and then covered up by Shanka, the Viroqua goalie. 10:21 left. They'll head to the side of the net. Emma Colden, and out too far in front of Shaner. Popped up high in the air, and then Rupiper settles it down over in front of her own bench. 10:05 to go in the game. Massaro sends it to the corner, and Rupiper pushes the issue up toward the point. You see the puck sliding back in, and we've got a whistle stopping play, and it's going to be a rough. Penalty coming up. Tegan Rupiper into the box for a rough, and so that will give the Blackhawks a power play with 9:49 to go in the third period. Blackhawks win the faceoff, comes out to the point. That shot hit a skate, and now the Icebergs able to get out of the zone. That was Erin Olson. Play goes on in front of the Iceberg bench. Picking it out of traffic was Berendrecht. Berendrecht still with it. Save made by Nishis, comes back out toward the near side. Icebergs may be fortunate there as the pass, trying to get it back in front, hit the back side of the net. Icebergs have it, play it behind their own net. Hannah Smith with it now, and they'll be able to clear. 1:20 to go in the penalty. 9:07 left in the game. Laura Schneider has it for the Blackhawks. now Barendrecht with it again. Drop pass at the point, into the circle, turnaround shot, sticked aside by Nishes, and the Icebergs able to clear again. We're under a minute left in the penalty. 8:45 to go, third period. Right down the middle now, and that's stopped. Shaner, near side, carries it into the zone. And offside is the call. So an offside call against Viroqua. Face-off coming with 41 seconds to go in the penalty. Game time remaining is 8.5 minutes. Emma Hughes sends it into the Iceberg zone, and it's popped up just below the blue line. They bat at it and finally bats it out of the air and out to neutral ice. They spin it back toward the red line and pushed ahead now. Carried in by, and a nice pass across. Shot, save made by Nishes, and she covers it up. I am reminded of a situation a few weeks ago. The game was well out of hand at that point, 7 or 8, whatever the goal difference was, but Mackenzie Nishes, who has been the Icebergs goalie for off and on for a couple of years now. Earlier this season here at the Mann Center, she was facing a breakaway and just stopped the shot, stone cold dead. And it was late in the third, and the Icebergs, when the shot was stopped, the whole team on the ice went over and patted her on the top of the head and on the shoulder and everything. And it just occurred to me that it was such an amazing experience and a good sight to see when the team was supporting her. And, you know, of course it was, as I said, the game was well out of hand at that point, but still she was not giving up late in the game in a very lopsided score. But and again, that reminded me just a few minutes ago of that situation a few weeks ago. Coming up on 7 minutes left here in the third, and sent into the zone, to the Iceberg zone. Puck slides and rolls down to the Viroqua end now. Penalty is done, by the way. I was telling my story and the penalty clock expired. 6:36 left. You know, it wasn't all that terribly long ago where roles were reversed, where Viroqua was the team that was getting throttled by high numbers, you know, giving up 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 goals a game. But, you know, these things kind of go in cycles, and better days are ahead for the Icebergs. I know that they've got some good players coming up in the junior ranks, and the younger players will be coming up. And, you know, they're not a old team by any stretch of the imagination. They only have 2 seniors on the roster this year. So they'll have plenty of returning players next year. And there's a pass into the middle, hits a couple of skates, and the Blackhawks start the rush again into the zone. Dalen with it, and right toward Nishes, and she'll cover it up again. Clock stops with 6:01 to go. Matt Gallagher, head coach for the Icebergs, I'm reminded as well, this is his first year, so Icebergs looking to get their feet underneath them with a new coach and new system, I would imagine. Face-off won by the Icebergs, 6 minutes left, and this is down to the Viroqua zone. Icing will be called here, and a face-off coming back down to the Iceberg zone. .5:53 to go. Face-off won, and they head off to the far side wall, and this will be cleared out by the Icebergs and settled down and into the zone. Erin Olson gives chase as she crashes into Kelsey Shaner behind the net. Over to the far side, held up there by Waldner. Missed on the pass, got it back though. Bounding puck at the side of the net. And back to the corner. Centering pass, kicked aside, back out to the point. Waldner again had her pass shot neutralized. And it's kicked ahead, and this will be Emma Colden. Colden picks her way through the defense, and that's finally poked away. And now a pass back to the other end, and that one skips underneath the stick of Taylor Nishes. Viroqua sends it down to the corner as we come up on 5 minutes to play. Brubaker up the far side wall, and she'll have it back. Yeah, the only two seniors on the Icebergs roster this year are Nicole Williams from McFarland, Kid Olson also from McFarland. 4:42 to play. Out to the point now, and this is chopped at, hits bodies and goes over to the far side on the boards. Down to the circle now, into the circle, shot, and that one's knocked aside by Brubaker. Around the bend, comes out here to the circle on this side, and the Icebergs should be able to clear it. Brubaker hammers it and bounces it off the boards, just a little bit too far in front of Nishes. 4:17 to play in the game. Back out to neutral now. Kid Olson has it, the aforementioned senior. Puck in the Viroqua zone, now back out to neutral. And settled down at the center circle. Olson has it back across the blue line. Into the circle, and a shot. That one wide to the right. Under 4 minutes to play in the contest. Back down to the corner here on this side and behind the net. They'll give chase over to the other side now. And reverse field. Hannah Smith tracks it down. Centering pass, blocked down. They pound it off the boards, and the Blackhawks will clear. And here comes Kelsey Shaner ahead of the pack. Shaner trying to get around Waldner, but Waldner's stick got in the way of the pass, or got in the way of the puck, and it ends up in the corner. They send it back out to the point, and now Smith with it. Hannah Smith over at the half circle. They'll try and center it, but that's taken away. Sydney Ursa will start the rush for the Icebergs. 3:13 to go. Penalty coming up here against Viroqua, as we may have an interference call. We do. Emma Hughes impeded the progress. Of the Iceberg players, so we've got an interference call against Emma Hughes, so she's in the penalty box, and the Icebergs have called timeout. So game reset here, 3 minutes and 9 seconds to play in the third period. Icebergs trailing by 3, but they will have a power play for 2 minutes coming out of the timeout as you take a look at the pink jersey wearing Icebergs here on this near side, and I can assure you that we're not having an earthquake tonight, although it may look like it. While we have a second here during the timeout, let me pass along thanks to our crew, as always, Lon and Riley on cameras down on the floor, and my buddy Christy up here in the box with me tonight. And Christy and I have spent many a hockey game up here during the last 4 or 5 seasons. There we are. She's my dance partner during some of the intermissions, or has been over the years. And Derek, who's out in the truck and has been out there for warm weather games, cold weather games, and everything in between. Derek and I have been doing games together here at the Mann Center for almost 10 years. We started with one camera and hoped that, there's an empty net down on the other side, and that goes just wide. So the Icebergs have pulled their goalie. And glove down out of the air, back out to the point, and now the Icebergs will start the rush. Olson, this will come back out to neutral. Massaro with it now. Talking about old times, Derek and I have been doing games for 10 years, or almost 10 years, and we started with one camera, hoping that the tape that we recorded on would last through our first and second periods, as the Icebergs will commit a penalty here on a trip.
24 pink is a minor for a trick.
So Sidney Urso goes into the box for tripping, and that essentially wipes out the advantage that they had by pulling the goalie. So 2:24 remaining in the game, and we've got a 4-on-4 situation for almost the remainder of the game. Out to the high slot, settled down there, shot, and Nish is able to make the save. Face-off this time hung up at the side of the net now, and it'll be played by Viroqua as it comes back in toward Nishes. She sticks it back toward the boards behind the net, over to the far side in the corner. Coming up on a minute left in the Viroqua, or less than a minute left in the Viroqua penalty. 1:36 left in the Iceberg penalty, right in front, and Nish is able to make the save again. 1:53 to play in the game. Over to this near side into the circle now. And cleared out. Icing would be called. This is even strength, so icing will be in play here. 30 seconds left in the Viroqua penalty. Out to the high slot, settled down there, and then poked away from Nishes. Rue Piper waited for the puck to come to her and almost paid for it. Olson trying to get it back out. Over to the far side. Taylor Nish is trying to get a stick on it to get it out of the zone. 6 seconds left in the Viroqua penalty. And now it does get bounded out to neutral. Blackhawk penalty is done. 1:05 left in the game. Icebergs penalty down to 37, 36, and 35. We're less than a minute to go in the third. Out to Rue Piper at neutral ice. Cross to Massaro at this side. And that's chopped down out of the air by the Blackhawks. Popped up, and Erin Olson carries it in. 42 seconds to go. Olson had her stick held from behind, kicked into the circle. Olson will get it back in the corner. 36, 35, 34 seconds left. 10 to go in the penalty. Played hard off the glass here on this near side wall. And the Icebergs can't hold the zone. Now here comes a breakaway opportunity. And moving ahead, Emma Colden. Colden, shot. Blocker pad save made by Nishes. Back to the corner. 19, 18, 17 seconds to play in the game. Down to the circle. Into the corner now. Moving along the goal line. And poked at the top of the crease. We're under 10 to go. Back behind the net again. And a giveaway to the corner. I don't think they're going to get another shot away, and they don't. But the Blackhawks able to hold on, and they pull out a 3-0 win over the Icebergs. And in that third period, just the one goal, it was Naomi Schroeder at 1:49, and that was the only goal in the third period, and combined with 2 goals in the second, and that's all the scoring we had tonight. So for the Blackhawks, they're now 2-4-0 in the Badger Conference, 6-6-0 overall. And for the Icebergs, they are still looking for their first conference win. They're at 0-7-0, and they are 3-14-0 overall. Our next Icebergs game will come your way on Tuesday, which is January 24th against the Badger Lightning. We'll be on the air at 7 o'clock from the Mann Center. And we will be on tape that night, so we will not be live, but we'll still be covering the game. And then on the 31st, it'll be a 5 o'clock game in McFarland against Brookfield. Again, we will not be covering that game. So Tuesday will be our last home game for the girls, as they will be on the road Thursday, February 2nd at the Madison Metrolynx, February 4th at Onalaska, and February 7th against the Cap City Cougars in Sun Prairie. So that's going to do it for us tonight. Again, our final score, the Blackhawks 3 and the Icebergs nothing. Again, thanks to the crew. Thanks to you for watching. This has been a presentation of the Icebergs Television Network, powered by WSTO TV. And for more, go online, icebergstv.com. We'll see you Tuesday for more girls hockey. Till then, James Weingart from the Mann Center. Good night, and thanks for watching.
Turnaround shot, stage made by Elliott. Myers sends it around the backside of the net. Step in the corner here as we take under 2 minutes to play. And a shot right in front, and they scored! Side of the net, they've scored again! 1 minute left in this second period, and the Icebergs have tied it up. Head toward the blue line. Pops back toward the other end. Hess with it now. 39 seconds to go. Into the zone. Hess with a couple of nice moves, and she scores! This broadcast of Icebergs Hockey is brought to you through generous support of these WSTO supporters. Stoughton Hospital, a proud supporter of WSTO programming. Stoughton Hospital is a 2010 Wisconsin Forward Award Master recipient, providing exceptional personalized service. Trusted care close to home. The UPS Store of Stoughton. You can't do it all at once, but you can do it all in one place. 2364 Jackson Street, next to Papa Murphy's. Crest Funeral and Cremation Services, love and concern in action. The three things Crest values the most are service, service, and service. A proud supporter of WSTO programming.